Hey, this is Coach Brian Wright. This is Coach's Corner. It is May 30th, 2026. Today is the day in which the UFC was in Macau. I did not know a lot about this card going into it. Wasn't paying a lot of attention. When I then saw the results, because this card went off, I believe, at 4 o'clock in the morning. When I saw it later in the morning, I said, okay, maybe I should have paid more attention. There was a lot of finishes on this card. The main card itself was just a banger. I mean, a lot of guys got dropped. The Chinese had a bad night. I don't believe anybody besides the main event with Yadong won out of China. I don't know what's going on there, but the Asian fighters do struggle when they get faced with international competition. Japanese fighters are a little bit on the rise. They did very well in this card. Angela Hill, I feel like she just doesn't stop. Every time we start to feel that Angela Hill may be done, she comes back and gets another win, and she did it again, and I believe she broke some records. Probably the most active fighter I can possibly remember in the women's division. So more power to her. Just keep going. Keep taking home those bags. Keep getting those wins, and no matter what the rankings say, just keep going. You're an exciting fighter. You come out of the New York scene just like me and a lot of other people. I remember you all the way back to the Friday Night Fight days. It's amazing to see that you're still in the game and you're still fighting and you're still winning against these young up-and-comers. So more power to you. Please keep going as long as you can. Force them to kick you out of this league. Just go out on your own terms. Just keep going. Well, I guess you wouldn't be going out on your own terms if they told you to stop, but I don't know. I would just say keep going. I think it's great. I love how you're just grinding out that division. You might as well. We've got in the main card, it kicked off with Alex Perez taking a nasty nut shot, throwing up in a bucket, and the fight being a no contest. That's really unfortunate. It was a pretty good scrap that was going on there. Both fighters evenly matched. Interesting fight. Low blow, unfortunately, occurs. Bucket comes out. Puking happens. Fight gets stopped. No contest. I hate to see fights end that way. I like to see more decisive outcomes. So now these guys, they put in the work. They're going to take home half their money, and who knows? They're going to run it back or go somewhere else with it. I don't know. But yeah, horribly unfortunate, and especially for Alex Perez traveling all the way to the other side of the planet to take on this opponent. So yeah, unfortunate. Jake Matthews, the only decision on the main card. He beat Carlston Harris. Not terribly exciting fight, but Jake Matthews does what he does. I look at him as a bit of a blue-collar guy. He's kind of punching the clock and pulling off the rounds. If he could get a little more explosive, a little bit more dynamic, I think he's a much bigger problem than he currently is. Simple tweaks for him, and I believe you're looking at a top 5 guy eventually. So hopefully he keeps grinding and keeps growing. Now let's get to some of the fun ones. Asakura finally got the KO that they've been looking for from the time in which they signed him. Asakura is such a dynamic striker. He did move up a weight class, which I think is better for him. The weight cuts seem to be taking a little steam off of him. He came out really slick, good targeting, smooth. It was great. Went against an opponent that had a decent record. Cameron Smotherman, he's 12-7. That's a lot of experience. To be able to come out and dispatch him like that, don't think Asakura has necessarily arrived with a UFC career here, but he got some confidence with a quick win where he got to show his strengths. So fun fight to watch. And I believe that opens the door now. Asakura, I'm not saying he's going to go on a run, but I'm saying the possibility for that is, much more prevalent than it was prior to the 2 losses. Again, he's going to have to deal with wrestling. We got to see what happens when someone shoots on him again next time. Then we move on. We got Sergei Pavlovich. He does what he does. Superior firepower. Super fast. It only took him 39 seconds to take out Teixeira. Teixeira is somebody that super big, super long, not that fast, doesn't have the best chin, and Sergei exposed him rather quickly. So easy win for Sergei. Who knows where he goes next? When he's on, he's very hard to beat. But then there are other days he just shows up and he's incredibly beatable. So yeah, he's a coin flip of a heavyweight in a very weak division. So he can be a challenger for the belt, or he can just wallow as a gatekeeper. I don't know. The writing is still out on him. Let's see where he goes from here. And then Zhang Mingyang comes in against Alonzo Menifield. Zhang was by far the favorite, and then Menifield comes up and upsets what was supposed to be, a homecoming opportunity for Zhang. Zhang was clearly, I'm not going to say the better fighter. He was clearly the cleaner fighter, was using more skill, where Menifield was purely firepower. Menifield was hurt at multiple times, kept driving through until in 4 minutes and 15 seconds, he just landed a bomb, which led to a few more. Menifield is always a problem because he's so dangerous with the power. The problem with him, though, is at this point, it's pretty much all he has. He's not slick. He's not moving that well. He's just coming at you with firepower. If he can survive you then have to deal with him. And if you can, you're going to win. If you can't, you're going to get dropped. That will always keep him getting fights because the fans love to see fights like this. I watch fights like this and I'm just like, okay, more power to him for getting the W. But the amount of brain cells he's got to lose to get that W is always just like a little cringy for me. The main event, we got Yadong versus Figueiredo. Figueiredo is a guy that's so disappointing to me because he's so skilled, but he's really having a hard time showing up lately. And Yadong was very patient and put together just a solid game plan. He was reading, he was patient, didn't overextend, threw a kick and fell in the first round, which was the only way Figueiredo got anywhere with him, but didn't create any damage. Second round, Yadong, again, patient, disciplined, started to open up a little bit more, was creating opportunities, and then gets Figueiredo with the guillotine. And man, he must have some power because Figueiredo tapped very quickly. So not a card that it's going to be that memorable, not a card that's going to have that many implications in any divisions. But it was a fun fight night. It was in Macau. Crowd got really into it when the Chinese fighters were going, which was fun. A lot of knockouts, quick finishes. It wasn't a 3-hour fight card. So, yeah, it was not a bad day. It sets up the RAF tonight, and I think that we'll just keep the ball rolling along. I'm looking forward to what RAF is going to do because, again, we got Gable Steveson versus Romanov. We've got Frankie Edgar versus Merab. And then we've got Colby Covington versus Chris Weidman. And I saw some interviews with Colby and his shtick. I thought he would slow it down since he's trying to be outside the UFC, but it looks like he's still trying to be the bad guy. We'll see if the RAF audience will cheer or boo him. Let's see if he has any fans in the sport left after what he keeps saying. But I'm very curious with Chris Weidman post-retirement. What kind of shape is he in? How far is he removed from those wrestling skills? I mean, this is all-American athlete here. This is a very high-level wrestler that has a lot of weight. So Colby, younger, probably healthier physically, hasn't had all the surgeries that Weidman has. Probably just has the edge on the speed and the more recent experience, but Weidman with the overall experience and the size, I don't know. I'm not sure how this one's going to play out, but the question for us all is going to be, what is Gable going to look like against Romanov? How explosive is he going to be? And does he stay healthy because his UFC debut is coming up, I believe, July 11th. So we're pretty damn close to that. So a little bit of a risk taking on an athletic opportunity like this so close. But I also think it's good to stay competitive, to stay in front of a crowd, make sure that you're constantly working on your mental game, working on your preparation for bigger shows. So it is a good thing for Gable to do. And then Frankie and Merab, again, I feel like it's the two people's champs going at it. And this is nothing but a win-win for everybody involved. So, all right. This is my really short, honestly, pretty crappy wrap up of the UFC today. I'm tired. It's been a long week. Yeah, we'll hop on. We'll talk RAF tomorrow. I apologize for the limited energy today, but, can't be on point every day, can you? I don't know. Maybe I should be. I got to work on that. All right. This is the coach, Brian Wright. Peace. I'm out.